In this video, we're going to show you how we installed a new inspection chamber and added 2 new pipes from the house to the main sewage system. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Now, with the conversion of the house, or sous-sol, we needed to install 2 new waste pipes from the house to the sewage system. And we thought we'd take advantage of, whilst we're doing that, to install an inspection chamber, which we were also lacking at the same time. So the plan was to firstly find where the waste pipe exited the house. Second one was to lay a new concrete base under that pipe in preparation for the inspection chamber. So the third step then was to cut that pipe and to install the inspection chamber onto that base that we had laid previously. And once that was done, to then, step 4, reconnect the main waste pipe from the house and to add the 2 new ones that we needed for the future installations that we were going to do. Now, we did not know where to start on this, like most things we've come across in this project. However, with a quick search on Google, we did find out that in fact most large DIY stores certainly stock and sell a variety of inspection chamber systems for exactly the purposes that we needed them for. So off we went to a DIY store. So here we are. This is the area where all the inspection chambers are kept. We're here for the concrete ones, although you can see the plastic options up there on the right hand side too. So let's get out of the car and go have a look. Now you can see these chambers, they come in quite a variety of sizes. There's even plastic ones over here, like I mentioned. And over here are the smallest ones, and then after those, in fact, there's the extensions you put on top of them. And as we move on round from these, then we have the medium size there, and the larger ones on the right, which is the ones that we're looking at. And so these ones here, in dimensions terms, are 40 by 40 by 33 deep. Now, these base chambers have 3 ready prepared holes, one here, and the other one here, which you kind of get to from the other side. And the idea is you just knock a hole through with a hammer. Now, these extension chambers that you see here, they're exactly the same dimensions, they just fit on top, but they are hollow. As required, basically, you just take one of these and you put it on top of the main chamber. And so we'll actually be adding one which will double the overall height to about here. So then, rather than having just 33 centimeters in height, we've got about 66 centimeters. Then we need to add a lid, and you can order a cast iron lid. I've never seen one, but you can order one from Leroy's, but it is nearly 10 times the price. Or you can just get a concrete one like this, which just sits on top and does the job. Now, one thing I'm not particularly keen on though is this hole here, because to me, surely that's just going to let sewer smells out. So that doesn't seem such a great idea to me. So what we're seeing now is the total height of the main chamber at the bottom, the extension that goes on top, and the lid that encloses it all on the top again. The waste pipe exited the house about 40 centimetres below ground level in the upper garden that we see here. So we removed the crazy paving was there, and the reinforced concrete and the earth until we met the pipe. As we also found out, it is very easy to break a plastic pipe, so take care. It was only a small hole, and as we were replacing the pipe in a few days, we really weren't too worried, but we did patch it anyhow. We dug out about another 25 centimetres of earth from underneath the pipe where the chamber's going to go. 15 centimetres of that was for the concrete base, and 10 centimeters or so was so that the waste pipes lined up with the entrance to the chamber, the holes that I showed you earlier when we were in the DIY shop. We poured the concrete base and then left it to dry. And a few days later, we cut out part of the waste pipe to begin installing the inspection chamber. Now, we're a family of 5, and this was our only waste pipe from the house. So we really had an incentive to get going on this as quick as we could. We knocked out the 3 holes with a hammer and then laid the chamber onto the concrete base. Then we measured and cut the new pipework to reconnect the original waste pipe and to add 2 more. Once they were correctly positioned and with a good slope, we glued together and then cemented the pipes in place. You can see in the chamber here where we used quick drying cement to sculpt all around the chamber to ensure that there were no places where debris could build up and rest there for long periods of time. And really anything that comes in should be evacuated extremely quickly as a result of what we've done. We used quick drying cement to do this work, and the result we got, it's not perfect, but at least we're not going to get a build-up now, or not in any way like we would have done before. We tested it and it all seemed to work just fine. So all that was now left to do was to put the extension on top of the base unit and then the lid on top of that. And because the lid had a small hole in the side, we also put a thick plastic sheet over the entire top, extending down about 30 centimeters to make sure that nothing could enter into the inspection chamber at all. So this is it all set up, working. It's been running for a few days. The lighter grey pipe you see coming out from the wall there, that's the original and only mains pipe that we used to have, taking everything out from the house, which we've reconnected back up to the chamber, obviously. So far so good. This is our first time working on a sewage pipe, and it wasn't something we particularly looked forward to, but everything is working just fine. So what did we learn? What would we do differently? There are 2 areas that I would pay more attention to if we were doing this project again. The first one is the material that we've used. So we've used concrete, as you've seen, but there is a plastic solution to this. And aside from the fact that plastic weighs a lot less, the concrete solution is about 120, 130 kilos when you add all the bits together. But the beauty with plastic is its flexibility. Now, in principle, it works the same way. You have your base unit, you have an extension, and then you put the lid on top. But that extension is cylindrical and it's threaded the whole way. So you screw it into the base and you screw the lid onto the top. But because it's threaded from top to bottom, if you, for example, chop off 20 centimeters at the top, you can still screw the lid on. So it gives you ultimate flexibility to get it to the height you need in your particular situation. And that's nice. It comes at a cost though, because it is significantly more expensive than the concrete option. And we'll come to that in a tick and we'll look at that in more detail. Number 2 is depth. If you choose to bury your inspection chamber, there is a particularly good advantage to doing that, because if you do that, you're not going to get any dodgy sewer smells coming out. And that's nice. However, what I didn't pay enough attention to was the depth of soil on top of the lid that we have, or that we need, in order for grass to grow. We've got about 25 centimeters. It's not enough. Grass does not grow for us here with 25 centimeters of soil. It just dries out too quickly. In a different environment, maybe that would be just fine. But that's something I'd pay more attention to next time. Which brings us to cost. How much did this project cost us? In short, not much. It's cost us €70, and that excludes all of the pipe work, because that's going to differ depending on your particular situation. So I've kept it just to the actual inspection chamber, the extension and the lid, and the quick drying cement, as well as some sand and normal cement that we used to put all of this in place. Now for you it might be different. We were lucky in that the lowest cost setup worked perfectly for us. But for example, if you would prefer to have a cast iron lid on the inspection chamber, then that nearly doubles the cost from €70 to just under 140. Or let's say you'd rather have the flexibility that we talked about just now with the plastic solution. That also is a bit more expensive. So that would cost you about €126 rather than the 70 euros. So you can see, depending on what you choose affects the cost. It's not a massively expensive project though, whichever route you go down. With that, I wish you goodbye, have a great day, and until the next time.